only going to get 2 of the tanks out of 4. INnoVation looking to hold this beachhead, but it's not going to happen. He is immediately surrounded and overwhelmed. He's going to get pushed right back out of this base. INnoVation has to return home, but not before losing that Raven.
Yeah, that attack was not what he wanted at all. He lost a lot of tanks, a lot of Marines. That was bad.
Aggressive play here at the front. He may need to pick up and leave.
It's curious. I don't know why he's doing this aggression. Because, yeah,
GG
exactly.
comes out of INnoVation.
Coming out of INnoVation, that drop failing, unfortunately. The Banshee play is really what did it, to be honest. He took out so many drones, or SCVs, in the second and third Banshee play there that he had the advantage.
And we've tied up the series.
Yet again.
Going to a third game. Even matchups across the board. Exciting tournament here put on by Dragon. The first ever Dragon Invitational. Day 2 is about to come to a close after this game. We are tied up, deciding between here Center and INnoVation. The brackets have been listed in the chat if you want to keep up with that. If you like what you see, feel free to give us a follow. Give us and Dragon your feedback. Post it on Reddit. We got threads on Team Liquid. Reach out to us on Twitter at AnnoterosTV and at PunishThePlayer. Please support Dragon and his stream, twitch.tv/Dragon. He is streaming all of these games as well. Looking to make a little bit more money back out of that 2K prize pool that Dragon has put forth out of his own pocket. What a guy.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Oh. We had the lobby there for a moment, guys. I think we might have switched to a different map, though, so we all got dumped. Give us just a moment here to reestablish that lobby. It was going to be an Overgrowth, but they may be picking a different map.
Yeah, maybe a veto happened or something of that sort. Something that we can't tell, but there is some conversation happening once again.
Yeah, and I believe it's Korean they're speaking.
Can confirm. Confirm that is in fact Korean.
Annoteros, our resident Korean expert, has confirmed this is Korean.
Absolutely.
So we are looking at a different map. Instead, we're going to be loading in to Waystation. Oh, I love this map. I love all the new maps, to be honest, after playing them enough on the ladder. They're pretty fun. They have some different games. They definitely change things up. None of them are that standard 1v1, like I think Akalon Waste is one I always think of. I think a straight-up 1v1. Let's duke it out. No such luck on these maps. They can definitely change up. Loading in Game 3. Center versus INnoVation.
And as we enter the game here on Waystation, it looks like we will have the short spawns. Spawning in the bottom left corner, the Blue Terran hailing from Team Acer, we have the legendary INnoVation.
Spawning in the upper right short spawn position on Waystation, our Red Terran player, Center. Very nice Banshee blade coming out of him last time. Those second, third, and fourth Banshees doing critical damage against the turretless INnoVation. And will we see it again? I honestly am not going to be at all surprised to see the exact same 12 fast Banshee come out of both these players. It's just so good.
Really not sure what to expect out of INnoVation. Somebody commented in chat earlier that INnoVation recently participated in GSL, and so far all of these builds he's brought out today, not something he's recycling from his recent successes.
Really? Yeah, he played in GSL last night, I think.
Yeah, all new builds. Well,
this is a 12 gas, again, gas first, indicating Banshee play. We'll see what happens. Gas first also coming out of center here. I think both players are going Banshee yet again.
Not uncommon, obviously, as we will see it again, but historically, very common play, TVT.
TVT is such like a knife fight, like especially when you go Banshee early on, and you're really just trying to stab each other in the back as hard as humanly possible, and just prevent the game from ever going late game. I find that so many TVTs don't go anywhere near the late game. They get decided in the early game, in the mid game, as the pushes go out, and damage is done. TVT is one of those matchups that initially I hated, but I had to get good at. You know, you had to get a little cheesy sometimes to be able to stand up in this matchup. No cheese though. We're seeing very standard builds come out of both players here. INnoVation posturing possibly for an early natural. This will definitely be a change from what he did last time. Nope, going to go for Scout instead.
Where is he going?
He's looking for the proxy location on
Gotcha.
this map. It's going to be right here. I like to proxy right here myself because it's obviously out of the range you would normally scout.
That you do.
I do. But he's not going to look there. Fast factories coming out of both players here. Fast orbitals.
Identical builds,
Yep.
once again.
Yep.
Taking a page out of each other's notebooks.
This spotting depot is really nice. Going to hope to spot the that first Banshee coming in. Something interesting to note is unlike on, what was the last map we played?
The last map we played was...
Merry-Go-Round. Merry-Go-Round has that weird wall around the edge of the bases, which totally changes up airplay.
yeah, the air wall.
Totally changes
First of its
it up.
kind.
Yeah, totally changes it up. Not on this map, so it's not as much of a concern. Last map, we almost saw a Banshee get pushed into a Widowmine by the wall. It was saved by a very nicely timed cloak out of center.
I wonder if we'll see the initial Raven come out just as Cloak is finishing again for both players, or if they'll try to push that Banshee out just a little bit sooner. The detection is nice if you assume that your other opponent is going Banshee, which, as stated, very common.
Now, what's interesting is that Center's actually ahead in this build right now. The Tech Lab was a little bit faster on the factory, and the starport is a little bit faster as well. Minor things like that are absolutely speak volumes. Well, it's not going to be that big because the timing is still identical for starport landing on top of the Tech Lab. So I
Look
take
at
that
this
back.
happening just in sync with each other.
Yep, pretty much. Slightly faster. Ooh, we see Center not going for a Banshee first, going for Raven first. So he may skip the first Banshee and maybe go for the later Banshee.
I want to say that we saw that last game, but we were seeing an earlier variance here, at least.
No, he Bansheed first.
Oh, he did last time?
He did.
Okay, so then it was INnoVation that did that.
They both Bansheed first and then both Ravened after that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which is actually fairly standard in TVT because you know the Banshee's coming.
Right. I mean, it's safe, right?
Yeah.
But we are seeing the Banshee for Center come out, as well as the Hellion in return for INnoVation. No Cloak coming down for INnoVation. None at all.
None at all. Not going for Cloak.
Nope.
Instead,
Different plans.
I'm sorry. Yeah, INnoVation. I misspoke earlier. INnoVation's going for not the Banshee.
Right.
I thought it was Center.
Just a little mix-up. Happens with TVT. And expansion coming down for INnoVation, a little bit ahead of his opponent, so this variance a little earlier. I like it. I like to see different builds. It makes it more interesting to watch and to cast, rather than see the mirror matchup.
Right. This is more of a anti-Banshee build that INnoVation's currently doing. The early Raven. He may even get an eBay down. You know, go crazy, get an eBay.
Insanity Wolf.
Yeah, seriously, gets eBay. Gets eBay against Banshees. Going crazy.
Stay sharp, get eBay. Banshee cloaking as it sneaks its way into the back of this base, but not before INnoVation spots it, the all-seeing, all-powerful Terran with his Raven Viking combo, too prepared for this attack from the center, and that Banshee immediately goes down.
He actually got 5 workers right there,
Give that man a medal.
despite getting sniped immediately. So, still pretty
What a
nice.
hero.
Still pretty nice out of center, making that damage happen, which is pretty limiting. INnoVation's now behind 5 workers at a critical moment in the game. Still pushing out with that same very formulaic
They
attack.
both are. This Widowmine, the Lone Ranger going to bump into this.
Boom, gonna go down. He has a Raven here, which is perfect. That is not what he wanted. Those Widowmines are so sneaky. You put them in the middle of the map right where you know your opponent's going to run through, and you almost guarantee you're going to get a nice hit. No, there's luck, though, when your opponent has a Raven. INnoVation opting for more Vikings this time than he has gone for in the past, looking to knock down any Ravens. The sight of his opponent going to get knocked down. We're not seeing any more Banshees coming out of center. I think he knew he lost that first one. I totally lie. Banshee coming out of
One
center.
more squeezed out at least. One more. He always
Yeah.
goes for that extra one. The optimistic center, looking to make his Banshee investment work out a little bit better.
It's a good
INnoVation, going to show his hatred for the supply depot. Going to go ahead and shoot that down real quick. Sieging up here along the edge. These Marines coming to contend with this are going to be destroyed
the
immediately.
Lift, the elevator lift in
I
the
like
opponent's
this.
face. INnoVation using this elevator tactic yet again.
I like
It's
it.
earlier in the game when his opponent has very little defenses. He's got one tanky now to pull up this ramp.
Completely bypassing that bunker.
Yeah. Anytime you make your Terran opponent
Oh,
attack
boy.
into his own base, you are gonna trade well.
That tank is tanking those shots, those volleys from the other siege tank. It immediately goes down. INnoVation pushing right into the main mineral line of his opponent.
This is gonna be deadly. He needs to defend this very well. These two tanks need to siege up, need to get the damage done on these Marines.
INnoVation also needs to focus them down. That splash damage doing critical damage against his push here. The SCVs are being pulled off the line as the tank creeps forward, unsieged. The one in the back still popping off shots.
Vikings are landing here, doing the damage.
Only control will make the difference now between these two players. And INnoVation going to lift up, go right in. Nope, decides to not go into the mineral line, sweeping back down into the natural for a quick distraction, but those SCVs are pulled.
Viking drop at the natural here from INnoVation.
Shout out to Dragon there for the Viking drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Little tip of the hat to him from INnoVation.
Beautiful.
Viking dropped once again into the main. That Banshee going to be taken out here. Kind of an interesting turnout from both of these players. INnoVation still with the supply and army lead.
Yeah, we see he's also tied it up in terms of workers killed. He killed 17 in that elevator push. It wasn't too costly. He lost some forces. Basically, units lost to get an idea. Yeah, both players are pretty much around the 3k units lost mark. So pretty even. I would put INnoVation slightly ahead, which definitely is ahead in supply right now. Center dropping, more barracks, going more into that bio play. Meanwhile, INnoVation is still hanging out on just one Rax, instead opting to drone up his natural.
The gases stay unmined there, doesn't really need it too much for this bigger bio force, continuing with that style. I think we're going to see more of the same from both players. We're just going to continue to see micro attacks.
Yeah.
It's going to be a war of control.
Another tech drop coming out of INnoVation here. He's going to look to wrap around his opponent's base. Get the drop. We don't see any turrets. Instead, we see Center dropping a lot of infrastructure right now. This is always a vulnerable moment for a Terran. When they've gone heavy infrastructure, they're almost saying, I'm not going to really have any army for a good minute and a half. And that's going to hurt. That's going to make this drop very difficult to deal with, especially if he pokes himself back in this corner right here, possibly here. You have a great position against any sort of forces attacking from Center. Here comes the drop.
INnoVation going full Skrillex here with the drop of the two tanks and the Marines in the mineral line. Not wanting to waste any time as it's immediately evacuated. Those Marines getting early volleys off for free.
And picking up and moving back. Trying to be a little more conservative than was last time. Nice job picking off that sieging tank. The second tank going down as well.
The pickups of missing the volleys from the tanks. I love this by INnoVation. Very well timed. He picks up just as the tank volley would normally come down.
Oh, he missed it right there. It was so close. He actually almost got all three of them again.
Sweet control from INnoVation. Although could have gone better for him, I'm still impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. His damage, just attacked a lot of damage. If you think about it, he lost 2 tanks. He also lost, I believe, 8 Marines.
Yep.
But the damage he did is real. His opponent is not mining from this this main base, and he was forced to pull back his defenses. Meanwhile, INnoVation, on that pace, is moving out with another attack. That same pacing we've seen every single time, coming out again about an attack every 2-3 minutes. Now the front of Center is almost empty, just now pulling out the tanks, getting the siege up. But he's a little wary. He knows his opponent's gone for the elevator a couple times in a row. He's afraid of it.
INnoVation not going to do the same this time around. Going to go ahead and attack and push towards that lonely tank who's trying to unsiege and run back to the safety of his colleagues. 2 tanks sieged up the ramp, blocking the way. Missile turrets come down from the Raven to help clean those up. INnoVation handling this quite well as all of these Marines and SCVs pulled forward into the volley of these tanks. So much damage being dealt from INnoVation.
Vikings drop down, doing the damage. This is looking like it's game. It's not quite over.
It's not quite over yet. It's being cleaned up. INnoVation just taking a bigger lead as another force comes across the map, but you are right, it is not quite over. Stim just now completing for Center at 15 minutes and 35 seconds.
TVT honestly is so weird in the way you build sometimes.
They're just so busy. They don't have... Ain't nobody got no time for upgrades.
Yeah, exactly.
Combat shields, stim, and +1 coming down from INnoVation. His power play will continue very shortly here. He's looking to make a timing out of this, as all of these will complete at a relatively similar time, excuse me. 2 SCVs will fall, as well as a supply depot. This Marine push coming into the main base, denying this mining once again.
Same time we're seeing a drop come in, same position from Center.
Return fire coming out of Center here, looking to apply the same pressure. Nothing left at home to defend from either player as of right now.
INnoVation backed up to focus on this attack. In fact, he's a little worried. It is 1-1 right now. He needs to make sure he defends this and doesn't lose this command center.
Oh, immediately being surrounded. He's going to have to evacuate if he can. He's just going to hold his ground, do the damage he can. pull the medevacs back and around as the Marines give chase.
Look at the workers killed this game. These players
It's a
are
massacre.
just castrating each other over and over again. It's beautiful. I honestly love to see this style of TVT. It's very demanding, very micro-intensive, and fun as shit to watch. Another drop coming in from INnoVation, getting pushed away, almost immediately not losing.
Leaving the other medevac behind. That one has to evacuate with just 20 HP. It would have been nice to see them both come in. Maybe they'll reunite at the nothing there to defend. Now there is. So, INnoVation taking his time. He doesn't want to lose any units now unnecessarily. He doesn't want to throw the lead. What is... This is awkward.
I don't know what's occurring here, to be honest. Like,
I'm going to drop your drop, bro. This is funny.
Yep.
He's got them all rallied to the medevac saying, I see you.
Oh.
And the Viking is here. This medevac is going down, as well as all the units inside of it. There's nothing Center can really do other than try to nos his way out of this. The Marine taking points sadly falls. A noble man discovers the army of Center right in the middle of the map. A scan comes down from INnoVation as he lifts up and begins to fly away.
That medevac did not die.
Nope, still being harassed. One Marine will be dropped in response to it, but it's continuing to run. INnoVation chases it away. The natural of INnoVation under siege.
Elevator drops aplenty here, guys. But a lot of tank siege up, a lot of Marines move right into position.
Thwarted once again. SCV's not pulled, staying on that mining base as the Marines push forward. Did not take his gas once again in the main. INnoVation kind of forgetting that a little bit, or maybe just going a little bit more mineral heavy. Doesn't quite need the gas so much. The upgrades would be nice to have as +1 armor comes down for INnoVation. About to have a +1/+1 lead over his opponent, as well as combat shields. This drop, persistent, is going to be thwarted once again by INnoVation as he pushed forwards with his superior numbers and upgrades. Center at a loss right now.
I'd like to point out that neither player has gone for any turrets on their lines now, despite the fact that 4 or 5 drops have come in for both players. No turrets.
None.
They've defended them rather well. That just shows their skill as Terran players. But it's crazy.
INnoVation postured up, scans the natural, goes right for the elevator move into the main base of Center once again. He has another force moving out from home to reinforce this. This is looking quite bad for Center, being that he's just now matched INnoVation's initial force. There is another one on the way. Reinforcements are coming across the map. Center in a terrible spot.
In an upgrade disadvantage as well. He's just now starting armor, which just
Snipe
fell.
the other upgrade. GG.
INnoVation takes the game. Raise your dongers, ladies and gentlemen. INnoVation takes his